Chosen One!
Welcome to The Chosen One. I'm your host, Qui-Gon Din, and today on List Spotlight, we're going to be looking at an Ewok list. This is Hunker Bears, and this is with Balin Skull. We're going to be taking Balin Skull with Death Trooper Escort and the HK-87 Assassin Droids, with Logray, Wicket, and the Ewok Trappers. The Trappers are really solid here. We're going to get into the meat of this list. I put this list on the table today against Scott Evil Houdini B, the previous world champion for Shatterpoint. We played at our local game store today. Played this on shifting. He did end up taking it, but it was a fairly close game. But he was playing Empire and Iden Morgan. And what surprised me about this list is how much of an attrition advantage this list had, because even units like Elite Squad and Iden could not chip through the defenses of this list very easily. It was 2 wounds to my 4. So there is something here. This list was working. There was just a couple issues with the maps, with the flop, and with how the layout turned out. That kind of went against my way, but the fundamentals of the list are actually really solid. So going into the synergy providers for the list, our primaries, they are the reason why the list works really well. With Balin Skull, it's his innate and his identity. Going over his identity, we get to keep Hunkers, and then we can gain Hunkers while engaged. It's Obi-Wan, it's General Kenobi. We've seen it before. We love it. And then during the modified dice step, you can remove a Hunker from your character, and they gain an expertise for each Hunker removed. Very solid. This allows us to potentially hit harder, get past our opponent's defenses when we need to, especially since we get to see the results. But this works really well with his innate, because at the end of another allied unit's activation, when it would or at the start of the unit's activation, when it would remove its Hunkers, you can choose to keep them. And then you lose your Hunkers at the end of your activation instead. So it allows us to keep those Hunkers to use for offensive expertise. And then additionally, after setup, we get to, everyone in our list will get a start with a Hunker. Then after we lose a struggle, again, everyone's going to get a Hunker. So Balin is spreading out Hunkers everywhere. We're getting to keep those Hunkers. And he builds a bunch of Hunkers with himself, with his own stuff, with his dash and his force pull. He's pretty force expensive to run, but we have a couple of activations in this list that are pretty force neutral to make up for that. Logray is going to be the bread and butter of another reason why this list works really well. Inspiring Presence, his tactic. Our Ewok warriors are going to gain a Hunker. Hello, Wicket. You gain another Hunker when Logray activates, and then Wicket's going to remove 2 damage or a condition. Our Ewok scouts will get a dash, so that is our trappers. The idea is that Logray is going to bring trappers with him to do like a 1-2 punch, similar to Grievous and B2s. Elder's Command. When Logray is going, you can choose an allied Ewok supporting character within range 4. The chosen character may dash, gain a Hunker, remove 1 condition, or make a 5-die attack. Early game, we can use this to gain additional Hunkers on our support, which will keep them alive longer. Stealthy approach, we get a dash and then make a Hunker or gain a focus action. We're generally taking the Hunkers here because we want Hunkers to set up our board. Protective wards, our Ewoks gain additional defense dice while he's not wounded. This means Wicket and the Trappers again become more defensive. You see where we're going with this. We're like kind of doubling down. And then you got his identity. His identity is kind of a nothing burger. It's a, when you wound, you are going to get a dash, or you are going to get a force refresh. The problem with this identity is sometimes you want the dash, sometimes you want the force refresh, and you just get the one that you don't need. uh, RNG there. But Wicket and all them, super solid on offense. They will generally get kills. Low Gray is very defensive with his defensive expertise, and when he gets to keep his hunkers, Low Gray is one of the tankiest primaries to try and take down. Balin Skull is also tanky. Going into our secondaries, we got Death Trooper Escort. He looks a lot of out of place here. He's the only Imperial in this list, but it means his tactic will be dashing himself or repositioning himself if he has any damage. This allows him to get to a point without having to spend for tactical advance if we don't have the force for it. So he is kind of an action economy piece. He has disciplined, which is really good. When he's attacked, you can spend a force so long as you don't pin him. He's going to get a repo and again, gain a hunker. He's got protection. He has sharpshooter. He can get that focus action. So he actually hits pretty hard, and it's just going to be a generically strong piece for his own activation. The problem with Balin Skull is that we don't have very many options for secondaries, and none of the 3-point options are any good for what we want to do. So DTE is the one secondary we can take that has some type of hunker play. Other than that, we can always just use this tactic dash, pay a force for a second dash, take cover, and then shoot something, and he still has a hunker. Uh, Pretty tanky piece, pretty hard to deal with, and he just has some reactive play. Wicket is a workhorse. One of the best units in our list. The whole Ewok side is really going to be getting work done, and lead the charge is great. A dash for Wicket and for the trappers, really solid. Hunting horn is something that you'll use maybe once every 3 or 4 games. It's not his main bread and butter, but he can use it to gain, make people exposed and give people pins. Fairly solid. Stealthy approach. Again, that dash with the focus action or the gaining of the hunker. Wicket with hunkers becomes really tanky because he has crit mitigation. And he hits like a truck in melee, but he's also extremely fast and extremely mobile. That is the name of the game, is being mobile while being super tanky and hitting decent enough. Into our supports, and this is kind of the bread and butter of this list, is this list maximizes the Ewok trappers. The HK-87 assassin droids are really good at taking points, but even with the hunker shenanigans, they are not that tanky unless you can get them engaged with an enemy primary, which you can do, but they are good play makers. We really like them. They generally will flip us 2 points when they activate, and they will be a good piece to maintain scoring parity. They're gonna go down, expect it, but they don't cost any force for their activation. Again, force neutral activation is going to be impactful for Balin Skull because Balin Skull tends to spend 2 force on his turn, maybe 3. The Ewok Trappers, this is where the support is really stupid in this list. Again, they get stealthy approach, so they can gain that focus or the hunker. They got the battle tactics, which their trap card is really good. It's insanely good, to be honest. Forest Dwellers is the name of the game here. At the end of setup, they gain a hunker. So they will start the game with 2 hunkers in this list. Additionally, at the end of this unit's activation, it may gain a hunker. What does this mean with Balin Skull? Well, when they are activating, we can choose to use Balin Skull, so they'll keep their hunkers at the start of their turn. We can use those hunkers for offensive expertise, and then at the end of the turn, we'll let Balin resolve first to lose all hunkers. Then Forest Dwellers can activate, and they will end with a hunker that they get to keep. Very good economy for Ewok trappers, and it's really good when they start having 2 to 3 hunkers. When you're rolling 9 dice with these guys, for defense, they are just hard to deal with. Strength in numbers, again, they hit like a truck when they get into melee because they're going to get 2 extra attack dice. Wicket, or not Wicket, but Logray can go in, melee attack something, use his ability to uh, give that 5 die. Well, that 5 die, even if it's a range attack, will turn into a 7 die. So you get that 1-2 punch with Logray. The mobility is there, the tankiness is there, and they are very solid in melee. Their range is a little bit to be desired, but they just play the game with really big numbers. This is the one version of Ewoks I like that feels like it can hit hard, but it's also super tanky. And I don't see that changing. I don't think I would ever want to play this against something like Vader or Mundi, but against, any gunline list, I feel that this Ewok list can very much hang. And this is probably my favorite version of Ewoks at the moment. Uh, Chirpa Logray is fun, but the problem is that your Ewoks still go down when they lose their Hunkers. Keeping their Hunkers makes them super defensive, and this list just works. Give it a shot, play it. This is something that I would play at a high-end event, I feel. Getting some reps in with this, I'm enjoying the crap out of Ewoks right now. Thank you for watching this episode of The Chosen One. If you'd like to watch the next video, you can watch the one in the link above, and if you want to listen to the podcast, you can listen to the playlist below. Thank you, and have a nice day. Thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe.